Salam, salam, health and wealth, grand rising, Exodus family. It's your brother Haran Exodus. Up early as always, getting ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually ready to trade these markets. We're looking at gold. Take a nice rejection about that 41.30 area, which we traded it down during UK session to about 40.17. It came all the way down to about 41.80 where it is right now. Bitcoin is still just hovering around between that 80 and 86 area. I think it's like 86,000 right now. You look at that fear and greed index ranging from 100 all the way to zero. We're sitting at about 20 right now, 22, which is extreme fear. This is when we like to trade because there's a lot of opportunity for potential correction when we see things like this. You know, I had a little 15-minute talk with the inner circle last night to get their analysis on the crypto market and more than just the technical analysis. I try to get my little circle, like I say, to understand the fundamental analysis. Yeah, the technical part is the charts, but what's fundamentally having the charts looking like this? And that also gives us an indicator of when we enter a trade, how powerful that move is going to be. How much money can we get out of that trade based on what's fundamentally happening in the markets? And I got some interesting analysis from the guys, but I had to point out to them, you know, for investors right now, the sentiment coming out the central bank in the United States, the Fed, we're expecting a 80% chance of a rate cut in the U.S., which is really good for the risk adverse markets, because the more money you have in the markets, the more risk you can take. You're going to have easier access to credit. You can trade on margin and still borrow more when that position goes against you till you reach your assumption. But when credit tightens, when these things tighten like that, it doesn't bode well for risk averse assets because money gets tight for margin, money gets tight for credit. And what happened last night, we saw a spike in bond yields coming out of Japan and the Bank of Japan. So Japan is hinting towards tightening monetary policy, which is really affecting the markets. Until we get another signal, this is what we're going to be facing coming out of the Bank of Japan. You know, I tell my guys in the group, you know, you really have to understand how money moves in order to understand what's moving these markets. Because essentially, there's only two things you can do with money. You can rotate it from one place to the other, or central banks print more money, which adds liquidity to the market. And when they tighten up, these are the things that you're going to see in the market. So you can understand, okay, when does this little correction that we see right now, when is it going to end? What price levels are we looking at where it could potentially end? I encourage all my folks to read The Tower of Babel, which is essentially a book that teaches you about the Bank of International Settlements. This is the central bank's central bank. You know, all these central banks are connected, and their policy, a lot of their guidance comes out of the Bank of International Settlements, which gives these central banks liquidity. Anybody that's interested in really learning about how these things work, they never taught me about the Bank of the International Settlements, even in the master's degree courses. This is information you really have to know someone on the inside, and they pull your coattail and tell you to check this stuff out. So, you know, I like sharing this kind of information with you to put you ahead of the game so you can be free. You know, this wicked system. But we're gonna keep it brief, man. You know, get this workout in, get back to the house, take a shower, get ready to see can we squeeze some few dollars out of these markets. Got a few people on the beach, on my beach today. You know, we had to ask them to leave. They must not be aware this is my little private beach down here. Oh, I have to put them on notice. This tripping, man. But y'all be healthy. Y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. Peace and blessings.